Today is track day with PSI Motorsports at Ozarks International Raceway. I'm very excited and very happy that we have a big crowd of cars. This facility is amazing. I love it. I'm encouraged to come everyone and see it and try it. And we're going to have another very cool event in October. It's going to be open track day. We're going to have a few cars for rent, Supra and a Volkswagen GTI. Also ride-alongs in race cars. So our program is designed for you to come and experience Ozark International Raceway. You can choose either BMW E92 or you can choose a Porsche Cayman Club Sport. So those two cars we offer a ride-alongs in. We're going to have a good time, so check it out. Today is track day with PSI Motorsports at Ozarks International Raceway. I'm very excited and very happy that we have a big crowd of cars. This facility is amazing. I love it. I'm encouraged to come everyone and see it and try it. And we're going to have another very cool event in October. It's going to be open track day. We're going to have a few cars for rent, Supra and a Volkswagen GTI. Also ride-alongs in race cars. So our program is designed for you to come and experience Ozark International Raceway. You can choose either BMW E92 or you can choose a Porsche Cayman Club Sport. So those two cars we offer a ride-alongs in. We're going to have a good time, so check it out.
Live from Sim Racing Chicago, PSI Motorsports USA, their final league race of the season. ProAm on track now as the battle is on for the lead. 12 seconds up the road is Turchin in the number 1 machine. Well out and clear in the Porsche 911 GT3R, but the battle for second is hotly contested between Kopko and Vladkin here. Second and third in the number 3 and number 2. There's the Porsche leading another Porsche as they jump over the curbs here towards turn number 15. Up the back straightaway on the Ullman Straight. Got 3 20-minute races here today with 3 different categories. Off into Sunset Bend, a big lunge here from Kopko in the number 3 car. Almost gets to the tailpipes of that second place Porsche and tracks out all the way to the tire bundles at the exit of turn 17. Here's Volodymyr Kopko in that number 3 machine, rolled off third on the grid, maintains this spot for now, chasing the second place car. Bouncing over the rumble strips here at Sebring International Raceway. 3.7 miles and 17 turns around here. And up towards the mighty hairpin. They call this the safety pin as the original hairpin ran a little farther off into the corner. You'll see from high above here as Vladkin makes the right-hander. There's the safety pin of the original hairpin, shoots off straight as the field exits turn 7 and heads up towards turn 10. Call that one Cunningham. 5 laps to go, though, and your leader all the way out in the front is Andrei Turchin in the red and blue Porsche 911 GT3R. We're live here from Sim Racing Chicago. And as we are here this afternoon competing in 2 different stages of the day, we've got our 3 league races, then we've got a Pro All-Star race a little bit later in the afternoon. But Andrei Turchin leads the way by 14 seconds over Vladkin Kopko. And then in 4th place, and yet another Porsche, is Luba Durshin in the number 4 car. Battle for second is back on between Kopko and Vladkin through the last corner here at Sebring. Bouncing over the bumps, and Vladkin's way out wide. Can he keep the car out of the tire bundles there? Almost an issue for Alexander Vladkin. Four laps to go for the race leader. About 6 minutes remains in this Pro-Am race. Be followed by the Am race, then the Pro race before this afternoon's Champion Special. Previous lap for Alexander Vladkin, a 2:13.918. A little bit slower than Luba behind. Ran a 2:13.869. About a 10th up for the 4th place car, but a long ways back, about 17 seconds from a podium spot here. There's Alan Powell in the number 6 BMW. He's about 3.5 seconds back from Andrei Pozanov, and a big slide for Andrei through turn 1. Traction control saved that slide for the number 9. And he'll get it corrected, but not before Alan Powell closes in that big BMW. Little understeer up onto the rumble strips for the number 6. Now a bit sideways, leaving turn 5 and heading under the bridge towards the hairpin again. No battles up at the front, and even the battle for second has subsided slightly. And it sounds like cars off. Number 9 of Andrei Pozanov is off at turn number 7. And here is a look at how that just transpired. Gets in there a little bit too hot and just understeers right off the end of the racetrack. But does a nice job averting more disaster, keeping the car from any kind of damage, and he'll continue. There's a car we haven't seen just yet. Bogdan Zdanovic in the number 7 Porsche. And started second and has fallen all the way to the tail of the field and is driven back to 8th. So Bogdan had a good qualifying, but the race pace has not been there after an early incident at the opening corner. All the while out front, it continues to be Andrei Turchin in the number 1 Porsche leading the way here, coming to 2 laps to go next time by, but a half a lap remains in this particular lap. Andrei started on pole and has stayed up front since the drop of the green flag. Last time around at 2:11.620, best lap about 2 seconds quicker than that. This is the last round of 3 in the 2024 PSI Motorsports Racing League here at Sim Racing Chicago. We'll show you some scenes from this amazing facility once the race comes to the checkered. One of the Midwest premier sim racing facilities. 10 sims all decked out with motion rigs and triple monitors and all the things and doodads you could want. It's a great place to host an event like this one. PSI Motorsports USA's final race of the season, final races for the league, but the Pro-Am race is finishing up here in just 2 laps time. Turchin out in front. And up onto the front straightaway, picking up 2 laps to go. Trouble for the second place car. Kopko's around at turn 16, and here comes Vladkin past him, and the pass for second is complete. The crash this was a long time coming into the S's here. And just gets up onto the rumble strips and goes around for a slide. And these curbs are fairly tall, and you don't want to get yourself too high up on them. Right here, you see the car just ground out like a skateboard over the top of the rumble strips, and then slips down to third, and then back up to second goes Kopko in the number 3. Oh, running wide at the exit of turn 1 and into the dirt. And Alexander Vladkin closes in a little bit more. And these 2 Porsches are going to battle for the last and middle step on the podium. 2 drivers are out of this race. The other 8 will finish. Oh, big slide again for Vladimir Kopko at the exit at turn 5, and here comes Alexander Vladkin around the outside. Side by side for second place. It'll be a drag race to the braking zone at turn 7. Who dares to brake latest? Contact there, just the slightest bit as Vladkin takes the spot away from Kopko. And they're still racing side by side. 2 Porsches leaving it all on the table here, with a lap and a half to go at Sebring. And the Pro-Am race for, there's going to be more contact. Kopko drills the tailpipes of Vladkin through Cunningham, but not enough to move him off the racing line, and they'll stay second and third. Now to the finesse part of the racetrack, through Tower turn 13, slide on the rumbles for Vladkin. Into the S's for the penultimate time. A little bit wobbly on the brakes for Vladkin as he tries to wrestle the car down. He's off the racetrack. He jumps the curbs, and here comes Vladimir Kopko, and he's going to have an advantage here because I think Vladkin will have to serve a slowdown, and there he pulls off to the right. And that should allow Kopko to go by, but they're going to stay door to door down the backstretch here at Sebring. Drag race again towards turn 17. banging fenders into the last turn. White flag is out for the race leader. As for second place, it's a frantic fight for P2. Top goes wide, and Vladkin pulls away. All the while, well out front is Turchin in the number 1. And these drivers were seated by their pace in practice earlier today. And the top 4 have mostly stayed in that order. We are not done for this battle for second just yet. Vladkin and Kopko, an excellent fight for second place. Little slide there for Kopko, trying to get the power down. Traction control vibrating underfoot as they leave turn 5. Off into turn 7. Now the last opportunity at an easy pickoff spot at the hairpin at Sebring. And these two still have half a lap left. But for Andrei Turchin, just 2 corners to go here to win the final race in the Pro-Am category, the PSI Motorsports iRacing Series. 1 straightaway left. And checkered flag for Andrei Turchin at Sebring International Raceway. Final turn. And from pole to win and led every lap along the way, Andrei Turchin claims the Pro-Am race for the PSI Motorsports USA Series here at Sebring. And for second place, the battle is still very much on between these two. They're both off the rumble strips at turn 14. One last run on the Ullman straight, and out goes Vladkin into the grass. He's across the road. Here comes Kopko. They tumble. Crash hard into the wall goes Kopko. Big impact and big damage for Kopko. And here comes fourth place. Durzhin up the outside. Has he got a spot for a podium? Yes, he will. Second place is going to be Vladkin. What a battle all the way to the checkers for Alexander Vladkin. And second place in the Pro-Am race for Alexander Vladkin. Third place, though, how about Luba? With that last lap pass leaving turn 16, picking up the pieces of what was left for that battle for second. That is a podium for car number 4. And Vladimir Kopko, fourth place, just off the podium. Alan Pau in the BMW, the first of the non-Porsches. And his Bavarian Beamer has got just 1 turn left to go. And 13 seconds behind is Buzanov in the number 9 car. But Alan Pau through the last corner, checkered flag. He'll pick up a top 5 in his last race of the season. All the while, there's Andrei Buzanov. We saw him go off at turn 7. Had a big slide at turn 1 earlier in the race. But started 9th, and he will finish in 6th. So a positive pickup for Puzanov in the last race of the Pro-Am season. Checkered flag, and 6th place, Andrei Puzanov. And Max Zykin in the number 8 Porsche. Didn't get a lot of looks at this car today, but the bright green 911 GT3R 992 leaves the last corner, and checkered flag for Max Zykin into the number 8. He'll come home in 7th. 1 spot pickup in this race. And that is it as far as the finishers in the Pro-Am race. So here's a look at your finishers here. Andrei Turchin, Alexander Vladkin, Luba Durzhin, Volodymyr Kopko, Alan Pau, your top 5. And the second race of the day is coming up shortly. Stay tuned here from Sim Racing Chicago. I'm Kyle Heyer. We'll be right back.
Today is track day with PSI Motorsports at Ozarks International Raceway. I'm very excited and very happy that we have a big crowd of cars. This facility is amazing. I love it. I'm encouraged to come everyone and see it and try it. And we're going to have another very cool event in October. It's going to be open track day. We're going to have a few cars for rent, Supra and a Volkswagen GTI. Also ride-alongs in race cars. So our program is designed for you to come and experience Ozark International Raceway. You can choose either BMW E92 or you can choose a Porsche Cayman Club Sport. So those two cars we offer a ride-alongs in. We're going to have a good time, so check it out.
PSI Motorsports, Sim Racing Chicago, in the final races of the season for the PSI Motorsports iRacing Series. Hi, everybody. Kyle Heyer bringing you the action today from an action-packed event here at Algonquin's Sim Racing Chicago. This afternoon, we've got a couple more races on tap. Up next is the AM class competitors before we go racing with the Pro class at the tail end of this broadcast and move into our Pro Invitational a little bit later today. Having a look at the weather here at Sebring International Raceway here in iRacing. It's about 25 degrees C. Track temp, though, 56 degrees Celsius. It is a little bit on the toasty side out there today. Here is a look at our track for the afternoon. Of course, this is Sebring International Raceway, 17 turns, 3.7 miles around here, built on an airfield that used to be active in the World War II training missions. B-25s would use these concrete runways and taxiways to get around, and today they are one of North America's best racetracks. Very, very fast, long, and challenging, but everybody knows at Sebring you have to respect the bumps. Heading down to the racetrack now and getting things underway here. It is qualifying time, just under 4 minutes remaining, and our competitors for this one. Here's drivers working their way around as we get set to go racing in just a few moments' time. And you'll see here the great sights of Sim Racing Chicago lit up like a Christmas tree. It is definitely a sight to behold. 10 Sim Racing rigs all getting set to do battle just a couple more times here this afternoon. And in just a few moments, we are going to turn them loose for another 20-minute race. Quick update to the graphics here before we get launched, and as soon as we do that, we'll bring you the rest of the qualifying action here shortly. And bring you along for the ride. So here are your qualifying drivers up on the screen now, and on screen at the moment, it is sim number 2. It's Diana behind the wheel, going for a slide in that Porsche. Out in front, it is Stanislav Dreva in the number 3 Porsche. That is a famous livery running in the IMSA WeatherTech Championship and in the World Endurance Championship and GT3 competition. Nice looking car that Stanislav's got today. The only other car to get a qualifying time in is Volodymyr Linovich in the number 6 Porsche, another one of the Rexy liveries. Great prizes on the line for the winning positions of these championships as well. Just a minute and a half left here in qualifying, and only a couple of cars have gotten lap times in. Here is Roberto in the Turner Motorsports BMW M4. No lap time for this BMW just yet. Neither for Yuri Sherba in the number 10. Great looking Red Bull livery. See if he can channel his inner Max Verstappen here today, but he might have to do it from the back of the grid on the initial race start. Roman. Ooh, big slide here for Roman through the last corner and into the tire bundles at turn 17. There's the number 11 up on the board, Ola Janek in the Brumos Porsche livery. Ole working through turn 1, and see the bumps there, throwing the car a little bit off kilter. But that's a front row start for the number 11. Here's Benko Slavic in the number 9. Dynamic GT livery on this Porsche. The 911 GT3R has been the popular car of choice here this week. Rear engine layout unique in the GT3 world. Bouncing over the rumble strips down at turn number 7 and accelerating back up onto the front straightaway. Here's Volodymyr through turn 17 in the number 7 car. That's sim rig number 7 here at SRC. And across the stripe, that's a lap time of 2:19.898, but an invalidation for off track. And Vlad Gonchar is the last driver on the racetrack at the moment, and checkered flag is out here in qualifying. Just a couple minutes left for drivers to complete their time. There's Stanislav Dreva in the number 3 again, leaving the final turn and heading up towards the start-finish line. Flat 6 screaming under that number 3, and that lap time will not count either. Linovich in the number 6 towards turn 17. This lap is up 2 seconds from his best. See if he can lock it down in the last corner here at Sebring. And checkered flag for Volodymyr Linovich, and it is a 2:23.5. And that lap is a little bit slower than his best of the session. Hear what Yuri can do in the number 10 BMW. Here the rumble strips vibrating under the chassis. Little lateral slide there through the right and left bends here at the S's, and then into the corner they call Le Mans. Leads up onto the long back straightaway, the Ullman Straight. Just one corner left for the number 10 and for the number 7, Volodymyr Bentekovich. Last corner here, Sunset Bend on the west end of the circuit. A little bit wide of the bumps there. Nice smooth ride through the last corner at turn 17. We'll see what Volodymyr has for qualifying, but not enough time to get to the stripe. Qualifying is complete, and we'll get racing here momentarily. Sim Racing Chicago here in Algonquin, Illinois, getting prepped for the PSI Motorsports USA AM race, the last of the season. The field is gridding and getting ready to go racing here this afternoon. One last look at the weather while the field grids up. It's just afternoon here in Sebring, Florida. Again, air temp 25 Celsius, track temp 57, humidity 45%. That is a nice 45% here in Central Florida at this time of year. And just a slight breeze out of the north, but that won't be of much consideration here today. Race distance is 20 minutes or about 9 laps. Pace car rolls off and we'll get one full lap to warm up tires, warm up brakes before the field is turned loose at this fantastic circuit. If you haven't seen the track map, here's another look at it once more. This is, of course, Sebring International Raceway, 3.7 miles around. And originally constructed back in 1950, but it's changed a number of times. And the layout, oh, there's a crash on the pace lap. A couple of cars have gone for a tumble. That was odd. So we've got Volodymyr Linovich in the paddock area already. And here's what happened from high above. Just as they were getting rolling. Yeah, the number 9 came across the nose of the 6 and put them in the fence. So not sure what that was all about, but the rest of the field is doubled up and ready to start racing here. Well, there's another car off in the background. There's Benko Slavic trying to get the car woed up. Need the tires and brakes and operating temperature before you can get rolling at race pace here. Trying to figure out where this car is. They're way ahead of the pace car. They are going to get a penalty for jumping the start. They are effectively half a lap ahead. The race has not started, but that will be a penalty coming for the number 11. More trouble in the background. That time it's car number 8. That's Vlad Gonchar going for a slide. All the while, patiently waiting here at the front of the field is Stanislav Dreva in the number 3. That's that green Porsche 911 GT3R, just getting prepped and patiently awaiting the launch of the green flag. Again, race distance is 20 minutes or 9 laps. And after this, we've got a couple of races left today. We've got the Pro Race up next, followed by our Race of Champions, which is a separate link on the PSI Motorsports YouTube channel. Cars are working their way now through the last sector here at Sebring International Raceway. I'd like to thank the partners and people that have made this happen. Of course, Sim Racing Chicago for having this spectacular venue. Of course, also Auto Transport Chicago with over 300 pickup trucks all over the road in the USA. Fast and reliable door-to-door car delivery and service for all pickup trucks and open 3-car trailers. Full body shop services, and you can get your free CDL with Auto Transport Chicago. Just visit autotransportchicago.com. Of course, PSI Motorsports USA putting on this series and events. Nonprofit organization whose goal is to promote motorsport. You can check out track days this season at www.psimotorsportsusa.com/events. 20 minutes here at Sebring. Who can outlast the bumps? The 3 car. The leader's turned around before the green flag is even waved. And now the 4 is pulling off track, following the pace car down pit lane. Who's going to actually lead us to the start? It's pandemonium at the front. Green flag, and we're racing at Sebring. Already cars in the wall in a big way. The 2 of Diana out at the start. The 9 is leading, but I'm sure they're going to be black flagged. The 3 is now assumed what I assume is the lead. That's Volodymyr Dreva again. And then in 3rd place, which should cycle to be 2nd, is Roman. What a frantic start to this one. So all that out of the way. Now we're going to go back to Yuri and believe behind him. This is Vlad Gonchar in the green Porsche. We'll see if he has a look down here into the hairpin. Covers it off nicely, does Yuri. And we'll see if he runs a little wide on exit. Does, but he gathers it up. Traction control saving the power in that car as they rocket towards Cunningham corner. Bounce over the curbs, and here comes Gonchar down the inside at Cunningham. But not late enough on the brakes to make a pass. But through goes Yuri and into the fence hard at Cunningham. The big hit there for the number 10 car. Here's a look at the replay. Probably looking up in the rearview mirror and just got distracted and braked too late and off and away. Bam, that's a big hit there for the 10. And the leader is off. Ole Janic in the number 11 leads this race, but is turned around. Where is this on track? That's turn 5, it looks like. And gets back rolling. Benko Slavic up to 2nd. But through comes Stanislav Dreva again. And more trouble in the background. This time, it's Vlad Gonchar at turn 16. See what happened here to the number 8. Climbs up on the curbs and then contact and around. The start to this race has been interesting to say the least. 2 cars on pit lane to serve penalties. Benko Slavic and Volodymyr in the number 7. Ole leads the way by 44 seconds. But I don't know if this is with a penalty or not. We'll have to see how things pan out here in the final 17 minutes of this race. So 2 cars into their pit box serving penalties. Benko Slavic is 1. Actually, there's 3 cars down there. Roberto is also on pit lane. Make that 4. Diana's also on pit lane. All the while, Yuri's spun out at turn 3. And here's how that happened. This has been a race of attrition so far. Up onto the rumble strips and lost the rear end. Lazy spin around for the 10 car, but Yuri's back underway. Ola's got the advantage now. Off into turn 17, one of the more challenging corners on this racetrack. It's kind of a triple apex corner that you have to set up for, but the bumps vary from the inside of the track to the outside. And Ole's going to lead this lap. Should be his first lap led of the race. And we'll see that change shortly, unless it's not scoring him because he's got a penalty, which is also likely. So who's in the catbird seat to pick up the spot? Dreva in the 3 is probably best suited, but 38 seconds back from the number 11. Oh, really too fast for Dreva into Sunset Bend. Big slide and into the tire bundles for the 3. Well, if nothing else, he can enter that car in Formula Drift. Look at that big slide through the last corner, and then it caught, and then bam, into the tire bundles. He'll maintain 2nd place, though. So 3 cars remain on the pit lane here as time continues to tick away. And out front, it is the number 11 Porsche of Ole, leading the second place car, Stanislav Dreva, followed by Roman as they navigate Sebring International Raceway. 17 corners and 3.7 miles. Here's a good look at that bright red Porsche, and there's a crash behind, and it's Vlad Gonchar. He's gone hard in the wall at turn number 3. Here's a look at it. Just drives in way too hot, understeer, bam, into the fence, and climbs up onto the tire bundles, engine first with that rear engine layout Porsche. Big trouble for Vlad Gonchar, but he's rolling now and still maintains a top 5 position here. Off into the hairpin here. Down all the way to second gear before accelerating back out, wait for the throttle, and now accelerate up through the gears. Last lap around at 2:11.394. Not a bad lap at all for Vlad Gonchar, but he'll have to get things together. Too hot into Cunningham again. And then through Sunset Bend. Ola leads the way, but I don't think he's actually leading. He's not being scored because he's got an active penalty, so he's going to have to hit pit lane this time. You see him doing that now. So the race leader will now slow to a grueling 50 kilometers an hour, while Stanislav Dreva is going to take the lead over, and there is trouble in the background. It's the number 9, Benko Slavic. And what an exciting and interesting race this has been so far as the leaders on pit road. Here comes Stanislav Dreva. Honestly, with how much of an advantage that 11 has, he might be able to leave pit lane before he loses the top spot, but looking unlikely now. Hidden behind the Rolex sign as here comes Stanislav Dreva to the lead. Started on pole, never got to have the advantage. He's been scored with leading for 3 laps, interestingly enough. Putting together some decent laps as well. Second place is Roman in the red Porsche. Third, oh, big trouble. Turn 1, car overturned, and somehow it's landed on its wheels and it will drive away. But that's another big crash for the 9. Look how fast into the wall, up and airborne. Wow. How about an onboard perspective of this? Man. Ground sky, ground sky, ground sky. And off again at turn 5. The 11 car is still stuck on the pit lane with a massive penalty. And Stanislav Dreva leads by 11.7 seconds. See that car struggling for rear grip at the moment. That the track temperature as hot as it's been today. You're sliding that car around, you're going to overheat the rear Pirellis, and it'll be a bad time. So Stanislav has to maintain the tires on this car for another 11.5 minutes. And some lap traffic ahead to deal with as well. That is the BMW. I think that's Roberto in the number 4. Started this race in 4th. He's now dropped to 10th. And already 1 lap down. This would be the 2nd lap he'd go down. And through the palm trees here at Sunset Bend, that Roberto car's got to get running because the leader's coming to lap him a 2nd time. And through the mist and the trees comes Stanislav Dreva, working lap number 5 of 9. 10 minutes, 50 seconds to go in this 20-minute race. And last time by his best lap of the race, a 2:16.435. And slowly navigating his way around. Has a 12-second advantage over Roman. But last time by, Roman was 2/10 quicker, but that's going to be a costly mistake there. That'll cost him some time and potentially a cut course penalty to go with. Bit of a battle formulating here. This is the number 10 BMW, and around the outside, that's a lap car, but he's only 2.5 seconds back from a car he is battling for position, and that is this number 6 of Linovich. Looks like Linovich started from the pit lane. Just 5 laps. Oh, there goes that 9 again, and even bigger impact. That corner just keeps sneaking up on him, doesn't it? Watch this again. Bam. Oh, 2 big impacts, one after the other, pile driving the chassis into the tire bundles. Not a good corner number 1 for the number 9. That has been calamity corner in this race. All the while, the leader, Dreva, has gotten by the lapped BMW of Roberto, so coming to 4 laps to go, just under 9 minutes remaining here at Sebring for the PSI Motorsports iRacing League's final AM race. 4 closes back in. Roberto right on the tailpipes. The leader spins. He's got to get rolling because only 9 seconds back. 8, 7, 6 is the second place car of Roman. And all the lead he had, at least half of it, wiped away in a moment. So his lead down to just 6 seconds. Here's what happened in turn 17. Kind of traveling fairly slowly, and then just the 4 of Roberto drives into the tailpipes and loops him around. Now it's only a 5-second advantage from Roman up to the number 3 of Stanislav. Second place, now just 6 seconds back. This is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. For reference, there is your second place car, and here is your leader, just 1 corner up the road. Roman pushing very, very hard, trying to grab purchase on the hot Florida pavement. 6 seconds clear is Stanislav Dreva, who he's been trying to run down since the drop of the green flag. Good gains there through the middle sector. That's going to be really hot, though, into tower turn. Second place slides, and he's going to keep it straight, but he'll lose all the time he had just gained. He was up 2.5 seconds on this lap, but he immediately loses all of it back as Stanislav tries to put some more distance between himself and the rest of the field. And there's a car in reverse, the number 9, and he has been disqualified. Can only go so far before iRacing will kick you out for that. Was in the wall again at turn 1, and then I think just kind of hammered out and driving the wrong way, and that will quickly get you eliminated from the competition. Three laps to go, 6 minutes left. Oh, and second place around at turn 17. Roman again too hot into the corner and almost had it straightened out, but car walked away on him. And now there is a little bit of a dorsal fin in the Florida waters. Here comes the number 8 of Vlad Gonchar, but he's going to slide. Can he save it? Yes, but it takes him a while, and all that time he gained is gone. So now just 2.5 laps left, and it's going to be another long, slow slide for the third place car of Vlad Gonchar. But no dramas for Stanislav up here at the front of the field. He has been, other than one slide he had with contact with a lap car, he has just been on point. Started this race up front, has avoided most of the calamity, and works his way through tower turn. Little slip and slide there. The next time around will be 2 laps to go for Stanislav Dreva. Oh, another big slide, though. Commentator curse. He's going to go off, and he's into the tire bundles at turn 14. But he didn't lose the control of the car all the way, and he'll stay straight and reassume his 14-second lead. Here comes Roman, chasing him now through the S's. He's wide. That's going to be too wide, and that'll be a penalty. That will bring in Vlad Gonchar. Opportunity on the horizon. Just 1.5 seconds between second and third place at the moment. Vlad and Roman doing battle at Sebring. 2 laps to go. Into turn 1. Nicely navigated by Roman, and here comes Vlad. Also nicely navigates it. Last time by, they were almost 0.2 apart in lap time, nearly identical. And 14 seconds clear. Stanislav Dreva just trying to finish the next lap and a half without any slide, spins, or drama, as the battle will unfold behind them. Almost certainly these two are going to catch each other before this race is out. And there goes Roman wide at turn 7. Battle for second. Here comes Vlad Gonchar to the inside. Contact and crash. Second and third into the fence. It's a scramble to get back on track. But away goes Vlad Gonchar. Right here, gets to the inside and takes a swipe. And swipe or no swiping, they go into the wall. It's not over yet. It is not over yet. That is for sure. Out front, Stanislav Dreva is going to see the white flag signifying 1 lap to go. And he has a 22-second lead, but he does have to pass some lap traffic before it's all said and done. Vlad Gonchar again took second, forcefully away from Roman a moment ago. And the white flag is waving as the leader is through turn 1. Eight seconds between Roman and Vlad Gonchar. If he wants payback, he'll have to find 7.6 seconds, and he will not because he spins at turn 17. Just got the car turned around sideways, and he'll roll again, but that will solidify Vlad's opportunity to grab second place here at Sebring. The leader just half a lap away from winning the final AM race of the season for the PSI Motorsports USA Sim Racing League, here live on location at Sim Racing Chicago in Algonquin, Illinois. And he is finally about to bring it home. Last time through the S's for Stanislav Been holding a very pretty wheel. Now through the S's and into Le Mans corner. Ullman Straight, the last straightaway between Stanislav Dreva and a race win in the M category here. Trouble for the number 7 of Volodymyr. Gone around at, looks like the exit of turn 1. Well, Sunset Bend, how about a fitting location for the tail end of the season? Stanislav Dreva outlasted and survived the pandemonium at Sebring. Checkered flag for Stanislav Dreva. He will win the M race here in the PSI Motorsports USA M race. Second place is 20 seconds back, but here comes Vlad Gonchar. Took the spot with force. But that's not the battle that is changing hands right now. This one just did. Diana was 6th, now 7th as Volodymyr goes back by. That's a battle for 6th coming to conclusion. And here's Roman. Had a shot at the lead earlier in this race, but contact from Vlad Gonchar and then a self-spin a few laps later has doomed him to the bottom step on the podium. And he's going to slide again. And only 12 seconds back is Linovich in the number 6, so if he doesn't get rolling, podium is up for grabs. Last couple of feet for the number 5. Roman will grab 3rd place, just 5 seconds clear of Linovich in the number 6. And now the last straightaway here, the battle for 5th. These are not 4 positions, these battles here. That's the number 10. This is Yuri in the BMW. And around the outside, not for position was that pass, so he won't lose a spot. And checkered flag here for 5th place at Sebring in the AM race. There's a 6th place car, a lap down. And then the number 2. Diana started this race in 9th place, so plus 2 spots for Diana, and that car comes home in 7th. And here comes the 11. One of the last 2 cars running on the racetrack. Checkered flag for Yannick, and then, of course, Roberto, the last of the runners on the road. Here's your race results for race number 2 of 3. And again, up next will be the pro race in just a moment's time. But Stanislav, Vlad, Roman, Volodymyr, and Yuri, your top 5 here from Sebring. Stand by, the pro race will be up in about 15 minutes. We'll be right back from Sim Racing Chicago.
Today is track day with PSI Motorsports at Ozarks International Raceway. I'm very excited and very happy that we have a big crowd of cars. This facility is amazing. I love it. I'm encouraged to come everyone and see it and try it. And we're going to have another very cool event in October. It's going to be open track day. We're going to have a few cars for rent, Supra and a Volkswagen GTI. Also ride-alongs in race cars. So our program is designed for you to come and experience Ozark International Raceway. You can choose either BMW E92 or you can choose a Porsche Cayman Club Sport. So those two cars we offer ride-alongs in. We're going to have a good time, so check it out.
Back live from Sim Racing Chicago in Algonquin, Illinois. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the PSI Motorsports USA season finale in iRacing. We're here at Sebring International Raceway, a beautiful 3.7-mile, 17-turn concrete and asphalt circuit in Central Florida. For the last race of the points-paying day, this is the pro race qualifying and on track now. And they'll begin their 20-minute feature race here in just under 10 minutes. Qualifying, as I mentioned, is underway on the racetrack. Your competitors are on the left-hand side of the screen. And here is a look at who we've got running here this afternoon. At the top of the board, it's currently the number 10, although there's no lap times on the board just yet. But this is Ilya Belia in the number 10. In the number 2, we've got Daniel Simpson. Followed by Matt Cater in the number 9. Then David Demov in the number 8. Max Ruchenko in the number 4. Then Taras Berzun. I'm not even going to try that. Taras in the number 7. And while qualifying is sorted out, we'll make one last correction to a name on the graphics, and then we'll get rolling here in just a moment's time. The AM race, which was up just a little while ago, was kind of the definition of excitement. A lot of dramas even before the drop of the green flag, so we'll see how the pro drivers fare. The one major difference between this race and the one you just saw is that we're going to have dynamic weather on, and in addition to that, we've got damage on. That will add a totally new dimension and complexity to just surviving in this race. And it'll again be a 20-minute or 9-lap feature race. And we got some times on the board as well. So once we get graphics rebooted, we'll show them to you. There we are. Simpson out front in the number 2 at the moment. And here is a look at your running order and the lap times that they are running. There's Taras in the number 7 running 7th. 2 drivers have yet to put down a time. David Demov and Jose Esquina in the wall hard is that number 12 BMW. That's a big hit there. And like we said, damage is on, so that car is going to be dragging the rear until he resets back to pit lane, which it looks like he is about to do. Here's a good look at Daniel Simpson in the number 2, leading right now by about 0.7 of a second over the number 1 car, driven by Sean Ahmed. In car number 11, running 3rd right now, is Patrick in the number 11. Bernadovich. And then just behind that is Matt Cater in the number 9. And currently qualified 4th, just about 3.9 seconds off the pointy end of the field with just 4 minutes left in this qualifying session. Here's a look at the weather. Currently a bit cloudy in the sky, but track temp about 15 degrees cooler than it was for the AM race just a little while ago. And here's why this matters. Here's a look at our track map here today. The 3.7 miles at Sebring, denoted by 17 turns. It all starts with a fast left at turn 1. Then you'll take that in 4th or 5th gear, depending on your car. Then a quick juke back to the right at turn 2. Heavy braking zone into turn 3. The track gets extremely narrow through this section before accelerating out of turn 5 through turn 6 and then to your best passing opportunity at turn number 7. That's the hairpin top left of your screen. Then turn number 10, Cunningham. That's the very, very top. That's that 90-degree right-hander that leads into Tower. That's the right number 13 corner. And then a fast left to Jean de Bienne into Le Mans corner at turn 16. 17 is Sunset Bend, so named as it's the westernmost point on the circuit. And looking down at the racetrack, it does appear that there is some mist rolling in. Could there be some weather on the way? We will find out. And I'm sure all the drivers right now are on dry weather tires. Recently added feature to iRacing was wet weather and wet weather tires. Of course, the feature is relatively new, so drivers are still learning how to adapt to the changing conditions as they would in the real world. There's Simpson in the number 2. Trying to go again for another quick lap here in his bright white Porsche. Little understeer through turn 1, right out to the rumble strips to hear the vibration. He slows into 3, a little bit more understeer. He's having trouble getting the front end of that thing to rotate. Now accelerating up onto the back straightaway. Just 2 minutes left here in qualifying. 2 drivers still yet to put a time in, Dimov and Esquina. They still both owe us laps. The 12 is on course, but has not completed a lap just yet. There he is. And then looks like the number 8 is about to complete first timed lap. Big slide here, the last corner, and David Dimov is hard in the wall. That's a big impact there for the number 10. Or number 8, rather, and just gets in there kind of sideways off kilter and then straight into the tire bundles. That was probably 80-0, the blink of an eye, but we'll head down pit lane, and he's out of time for qualifying, so he will start at the back of the field, and so will the 12 unless he finishes this lap. So will we get any wet weather on the way? Take a look here. Currently, no precipitation, but the humidity is high enough that we could see some. Mostly cloudy skies here at the Central Florida circuit. But how quickly things can change. Whoa, so close to the wall is Simpson on the entry to turn 17. He cut that so very tight. Watch this turn into turn 17. The end of the wall is just ahead of him right there. Just misses the end of the barrier, trying to arc it into the final turn before bouncing over the bumps. 10 seconds left before we'll get the checkered flag, and the last times of the qualifying session will have to go on the board very soon. Here is Sean Ahmed in the number 1 car in 3rd place, and currently just down a 10th on his best lap. He will have time to finish this lap if he can improve it. Balancing up on the rumble strips here through Jean de Bienne and then into Le Mans. So Simpson and Bernadovitz have all completed their laps. So has the number 9 of Cater. And it looks like Sean also is going to call it a qualifying session. Jose Esquina is up to 6th place in the number 12 BMW. And Ruchenko in the number 4 is rolling down pit lane. So very shortly, qualifying will advance to the race. This will be our last points-paying race of the day here at Sebring. And we're watching live from Sim Racing Chicago here in Algonquin, Illinois. If you've never been to this facility or never seen it in person, it is a spectacular place for racing your friends, hosting events, that sort of thing. About 10 rigs set up here for drivers to participate on, and a great atmosphere and vibe to go with. PSI Motorsports has hosted their season here, and this is the final of their 3 in-person events. As the checkered flag falls here on qualifying, we'd like to take a moment to thank the partners and people that make this happen. Auto Transport Chicago. Fast and reliable door-to-door car delivery service for all pickup trucks and open 3-car trailers. Full body shop services, and you can get your free CDL with Auto Transport Chicago. Just visit them at autotransportchicago.com. And SVB Express. Reliable flatbed trucking. Come and join our team as a driver. That's SVB Express. And, of course, PSI Motorsports, hosting track days, promoting motorsport. Check out their website at psimotorsportusa.com/events. Another look at the current weather before we dive into the race. And the clouds have come over Central Florida here, looking down. Now, will it rain? It could, but I don't think the percentage is very high. We'll see if that changes in the race session itself. But clouds can roll in relatively quickly, and once the precipitation starts falling, it's only a matter of time before that dry weather tire is no longer going to grab purchase on the concrete canyons here at Sebring. Original layout of this racetrack was built in 1950. It's seen about a dozen different track layouts since, but one of the things that hasn't changed is its character and how rough it is on the race cars. People will tell you that 12 hours at Sebring is a lot rougher on equipment and drivers than 24 hours at Daytona. So the sun is shining, at least on the B-roll here, but we're heading down to the racetrack now, and as the session ticks over, no change in precipitation chance, but that doesn't mean we couldn't see a pop-up shower here towards the end. Cars are gridding now, and they'll have one pace lap around this great racetrack before we turn them loose for 20 minutes. And while we're at it, let's have a look at our starting lineup. On the front row, it's going to be Daniel Simpson in the number 2. That's that white Porsche in your shot. To the outside, the pink Tyrannosaurus Porsche. That is Patrick Bernadovich in the number 11. Behind him in row number 2 is Shahan Ahmed in the number 1 Porsche. That is the blue and red car at the left row. Then it's Ajem Ahmed in the number 6 that will roll off in 4th place. In 5th, it's Matt Cater in the number 9, and Jose Esquina will start alongside him in one of the only non-Porsches in the field, the number 12 BMW. Then it's Max Rudchenko in the number 4. They'll start 7th in a BMW M4 GT3, followed by Taras in the number 7, rolling off in 8th. In 9th place, it's Ilya in the number 10 machine, followed by David Demov, who did not get a qualifying time and will have to start at the tail of the field. The pace lap is a little bit less dramatic this time around, but drivers warming up their tires, warming up their brakes, and getting prepped for 20 minutes of GT3 brawling at Sebring. The calm before the storm in more ways than one. And if you'd like to check out Sim Racing Chicago, make sure you visit their Facebook page and check them out during their business hours. Make sure you call to make a reservation. Of course, there's plenty of space for you and all your friends and all sorts of other cool gigs as well. PSI Motorsports USA's final league race of the season. This one is points paying. See that number 11 warming up the tires here and getting prepped for action. Patrick Bernadovich putting some gentle heating into those tires before we turn them loose. And once the safety car pulls off, it's going to be all systems go. This race could be 10 laps. We could get an extra lap based on our qualifying pace, but it is set for 20 minutes timed. Here's Bishop Bend, one of the fastest areas of the racetrack. That nasty curb, right center shot. You can climb that thing, but if you get it just a little bit wrong, especially in these lower ground clearance GT3 cars, it can send you for a slide, especially if it's raining. Curbs are lava. into Jean Dubienne now, the right and left combination. That leads to Le Mans curve right here. This is the penultimate turn on the racetrack. Third gear right-hander. And then all the way at the other end of the straightaway is Sunset Bend, so named because it's on the west end of the circuit. And if you're here to experience the sunset at Sunset Bend, it is quite the spectacle. So will this. PSI Motorsports getting prepped for their final race. You wanted action, you're about to get it. Big thanks to Auto Transport Chicago, SVB Express, Motul, and Sim Racing Chicago for being a part of this event. And the drivers are about to go driving. It's about to be go time from Central Florida on a Sunday afternoon out just outside of Chicago at Sim Racing Chicago. We're racing in iRacing at Sebring. Green flag flies, and here we go. It's a clean getaway for Simpson, but is he going to be able to clear? Bernadovich into turn one. He will. The battle's behind him. 3 abreast into the first corner. And somehow we're going to come out the other side in one piece, and they're going to sort it out. Number 9, Cater loses a spot to Demov, who did not get a qualifying time. He's already up a couple of spots. He started dead last. He's up 3 positions, and there is a slide, and it's the one car. Sean Ahmed is off at turn 5. He's going to drop all the way to the tail of the field. That is a costly mistake on the opening lap for 4th place, for 5th place. Look at the bumper on, there goes the bumper on the number 6 car of Ahmed, and through comes the 12 now into 3rd position. That's the last step on the podium. And I think there was some foul play here. We'll have to go back and look at that here in a little while. Off into Cunningham for the first time. Let's go back and see if we can find out exactly what had happened to these cars, and I think we just missed. The 6 and the 1 come together here, and the 1 actually slides first, and the 6 gets into him, so no foul play. They just carry on. But big time damage to the nose of the 6 of Jem Ahmed, so that's going to impact the aerodynamic performance of this car quite a bit. That's going to hurt on the straight line here especially. And there's a spin in the background as well. That is Sim 10 with Ilya behind the wheel. And just a slow spin, so that car will get back rolling. Simpson leads the first lap and will try to set sail, light the afterburners on this Porsche and climb out of Central Florida. But Bernadovich has gotten his bearings now, and with a very clean car and a windshield that's just got one car in it, his choice is clear. You run him down or finish second behind him. That's Rodchenko and the 8 of Demov, who is still up 3 spots from where he started the race. They were door-to-door into turn 1. They've sorted it, but the BMW is a little wide. One car has called it a day. Ahmed down onto pit lane. And now that the leaders have all basically strung out, it becomes a battle for the top 5 spots instead of for the lead. And there is Jem Ahmed in the number 6, followed by Taras, who started 8th and is up to 5th place, plus 3 so far in the early stages of this one. The working lap number 2, and I can't help but notice, looking down from high above, the track is shaded a bit more than it was a couple minutes ago. I don't know if that means precipitation is on the way, but I do know that it is looking relatively dark here at Sebring. You can see it looks like there's a storm coming. The trees are blowing in the breeze, and that would absolutely throw a wrench into things. How about this battle for fourth, though? Ahmed still clinging to it with the 7 of right behind him is Taras. This is going to be a battle before it's not. I think that 7 is just a hair quicker. 700's quicker last time around. And a big lunge into turn 3, but off the course, or off the line, I should say, is that 6. Late apex there at turn 5 to try to set up and drive away. That front end damage is not helping Ahmed. He's doing a great job, all things considered, and the damage wasn't anything he could have controlled either. Car ahead of him spun, and there was nowhere on the track to go to. And battle for position is on there as well as back here. The 10 car down a few positions as the 9 of Cater moves up 1. This is the hot fight, though, between 2 Porsches. Ahmed in the lead car and Taras in the second. Into tower turn, kind of braking across the width of the track there, aiming at the rumble strip. See the 4 car bobble on the curbing just a touch. And Bernadovich in the number 11 BMW has solidified himself in second, keeping Simpson honest as he tries to pull away. And the 6 is off wide at Jean Debienne. That will give the 7 an opportunity here. Oh, big lunge from a long ways back, and he's through. And that caught Ahmed off guard, and we'll trade that spot now for 4th place. There's actually a car in 3rd. Sorry, that's a Skina. Bernadovich is in another Porsche. 1.5 back. And then we wait at turn 1 for the sounds of GT3 cars. Keeping our eyes on the clouds. The leader was very tight. I heard the rumble strips buzzing. He was real tight to the edge of the road. Here's the leader. Look how tight he is to the wall at the entrance to turn 1, not leaving a lot of margin there. But then through the center of the corner, tracks through, and then watch the right side tires here on exit and that blue and white curbing. If you go an inch beyond that, it is a bad day, but he is using every ounce of racetrack at his disposal. And the battle for 4th place continues. They're still side by side, and it looks like Ahmed's going to go back through on the number 7 of Taras, and then the 4 of Rodchenko is closing in on both of these drivers. He's wide at 7, though, couldn't get the thing woed down, and he'll watch those 2 Porsches scamper away. What a great battle here for 4th place as we're working our way towards halfway. 12 minutes to go in this 20-minute feature race. Taras looks a lot better on the brakes, just a lot more confident when he goes to the pedal. He's leaning on the ABS. The car's kind of skating around on the surface looking for grip, but the car is at work and so is the driver. Florida sun peeking through over on this end of the racetrack. And up the long back straightaway again, the Ullman straight. Look at the 4 wiggling on the rumble strips. Even in the background, see that 8 of Demov. Again, he started this race dead last, David Demov, and made it up to 7th in really the first 3 corners and has been there ever since, but not lapping quite quick enough to be a factor up in the front 3 or 4. And then the number 9 of Cater and Belia follow. But Simpson is well and truly clear of the field now by 2.5 seconds over Bernadovich. But this has been the fierce battle of the day. It's been Ahmed and Taras going at it. Whoa, trouble, turn 7. They come together and crash, and the 4 runs wide as well. Everything just came to a head all in one turn. And they're going to come out the same way they went in, but not without the drama beforehand. Watch this send from a little ways back from the number 7 car. He was in there way too hot. Gets the back of the 6, turns him, and then the 4 just shoots off straight and ends up in the tire bundles. Not quite. He stayed on out of the fence, but wonder if these front 2 have any damage. And yes, the 7 has lost the front appendages off that number 7. So both of these Porsches stricken with front and rear damage, and half the race left still to go. And the dorsal fin in Florida waters, that's the number 4 of Rudchenko closing in. Big slide here through Lamont turn. And his car is in much better shape than these 2 Porsches, but does he have the pace to track them down in the final 5 laps of this race? The leader is clear by 2 seconds on Bernadovich in the number 11 car. Now into turn 1. Just have to brave yourself into this corner. It's so fast, down to 4th gear, maybe 3rd gear in this car. Throttle up. And these drivers have made mistakes, but only when they're in proximity. They drive pretty nicely on their own, and that's keeping the 4 car at bay and any others that want to come out and play. Daniel Simpson at a 2:04.566. It actually is a hair slower than the best lap by Patrick Bernadovich, but he has got to find consistent pace to track down Simpson out front. It is not going to be an easy task, especially when there's clear air and no traffic ahead for the number 2. And battle for 5th place. Looks like Rudchenko has caught the number 7 of Taras, and they are losing the 6 of Ahmed. And again, damage to the nose of this Porsche after contact at turn 7 a lap ago. BMW puts the power down pretty well. And off into Jean Debienne again. Battle for P5. And the Porsche is wide. The BMW slides through to take 5th place away. How about that? That was cool. Let's have another look at that. Door opens as the Porsche goes wide. He's going to hook the curb and slides on through. And here comes the Porsche up the inside again. A big send from Taras down at turn 17. Rudchenko leaves the door open but shuts it once he's sure that the 7 won't find himself there. Four laps to go. Just under 7 minutes remain in this race. And Daniel Simpson out front now by 4.6 seconds. So it sounds like Bernadovich had some trouble the last time around. He's lost a couple of seconds. And then quietly lingering is Jose Esquina in this number 12 BMW. He has just been persistent and running 3rd basically since the drop of the green. Seems like the weather will not be a threat beyond the clouds shifting overhead. Simpson using all the racetrack on the entry to Le Mans curve, and he's a little bit wide there, drops a tire in the dirt, and accelerates away. He doesn't have to take a lot of risks here in the last 3 laps. He doesn't even need his best laps of the day. He can just run consistent race pace laps, and he'll win this race. Bit of a battle formulating here between Dimov and Cater. This is for 7th. David looking a little bit quick through the S's there and drops a tire on the exit to cost him a little bit of time on this back straightaway. And here's the differential, maybe 10 car lengths between 7th place Matt Cater, or excuse me, 8th place Matt Cater and 7th place David Dimov. Big lunge in the braking zone, a long ways back from the 9, but he doesn't make up all the ground. Three laps to go, and this is the tightest fight on the track between these two. And that's going to be way off track. Dimov into the tire bundles at turn 1 in a big way, and what was going to be a 7th place might be down the order quite a way. That suspension is destroyed. David Dimov's race is over. That is heartbreak for David. That is going to be it. Here it was. Off into turn 1, just threw it in there way too hot, and it just stepped out and then pow into the tires, and that is it. And what was going to be a nice, decent run today is not going to be anything more than a 10th place for David today. Still a battle now for 4th between Ahmed and Rudchenko. And then the battle resumes now for 8th, this time with Ilya with the one of Ahmed behind. Was the 3rd place Shahan Ahmed. And he's just trying to salvage something out of this day. It had not gone to plan. And accelerating up onto the back straightaway now towards the very fast Bishop Bend. And a little bit of dramas there for the number 10 of Ilya ahead. Ilya's going to cut the racetrack and come back on course. And he'll have to just cut everything anyway. That's going to cost him even more time, though, because 2-corner cut will count against you twice as hard. So going to try to run away from a penalty, but it's going to come back to bite Ilya, I think. And there's the slowdown being served at some point. And here comes the one of Shahan Ahmed. 2 laps to go, just 2 minutes left on the board. And Daniel Simpson is through tower turn already, a lap and a half to go for Daniel, who has just been in clinical control of this race from the drop of the green flag. He has led every lap so far and is just dancing around this place with very consistent times, all in the 2:04 range. And just 1 corner left on this lap and 17 left on the next. All the while, 4th place, Max Rudchenko. Oh, that car is out of control. He's going to woe it up and save it. That thing was not a happy camper here through the turn 12. Holy wiggle. He got that thing woed down and kept it pointed the right direction, like riding an octopus there through turn 12. Well, final lap, white flag in the air for Daniel Simpson, just 1 lap to go. And only one car is out of the race, and that is David Demov. Everybody else still running, but all the battles have mostly fizzled, just embers glowing of the side-by-side fights we saw at the drop of the green flag. And what a race for Simpson. He has just been, as I said, in clinical control of this race from the drop of the green flag. Set sail. And for a while, it seemed like the others were going to keep him honest up front. But there is no real honest fight at this point. Porsche's flat six motor screaming under the engine cover of the number 2, and he has just half a lap left. Closest battle is for 4th place on the track, but still a second and a half between them. If it gets more exciting, we'll take you there. All the while, we'll follow Simpson back to the checkers. The last time through Jean de Bienne and through Le Mans. And last time down the Ullman Straight. And just Sunset Bend left to navigate. In the background, you see Bernadovich in the pink number 11 Porsche, but his pace was not enough to keep up with this guy, Daniel Simpson. Final corner here at Sebring in the pro race in the PSI Motorsports USA iRacing League, the last race of the season. Daniel Simpson wins in Central Florida. And then in second place, Bernadovich, a job well done, a podium. And then it is Jose Esquina in the number 11, who has just been in no man's land, all by his lonesome. But a lonesome third is still a third, and he will take it home. And checkered flag for the 12, and across the stripe for third. Here comes the number 6 car, the 4th place vehicle, Jamamad, who had a lot of damage on the nose of that car right from the get-go, but he has salvaged something with it. Who needs the front of a Porsche anyway? Engines in the back. 4th place for the number 6. 5th place for Max Rudchenko. 6th place for Taras. And then 7th for Matt Cater. The last 2 drivers on the road, Shahan Ahmed out early, spinning in the opening set of corners. Started 3rd, he'll come home in 8th. Not the result he was looking for, but a result at least. And then Ilya will come on through and complete the final lap of Sebring International Raceway. Checkered flag, and Ilya is the last driver to cross the stripe, and a disappointing result for David Demov. No finish there, no result after the crash on lap number 8. Have a quick look at the race results here. Daniel Simpson at the top, 7.3 clear. Bernadovich, then Esquina, Ahmed, Rudchenko, Taras, Matt, Shahan, Ilya, and David, the rest of the finishing order, and all but 1 drivers finish this race. Well, that was the points-paying races here for the PSI Motorsports USA Racing League, but we've got more coming your way this afternoon at a pro race, well, not a pro points-paying race, but we have a pro invitational race coming up a little bit later today. That will end this stream. We'll see you on the other one at around 2:30, and we'll see you there shortly. Kyle Heyer here on location at Sim Racing Chicago. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you in the next one.